da wakija wanakaa wakiniona mimi ndo bala music low wanakaa. So here's an example of how an uptrend look like. Uptrend is usually a trend which is going to the upside. So we can see the market will be creating a wave of higher highs and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows. So this is just a simple definition of how the markets can be like. So you can see here these points which I'm marking are the higher highs which will be created by the market. Higher highs which will be created by the market, and the ones which I'm marking now recently here are the higher lows which are made by the market. So this is a general idea of an uptrend. Also, what you need to understand is that the market cannot make a uptrend just directly. The market can't swing just like this one, making just a high. So the market normally moves in waves. The market normally moves in waves. So this is how the market looks like. This is the market how it looks like. And normally it cannot be the same as this illustration over here. The market can be different. The way the market looks and the way we explain it on the illustration is kind of different, but if you get used to the charts, you'll have to see you will have you'll be able to see what I am just trying to say, because most of the people think that the market will just move in an uptrend, just it will create a sharp movement to the upside. No, the market can't do that. The market can't create this sharp movement to the upside. The market always moves in waves. In waves. The market always moves in waves. That's the general idea of how the market moves in the uptrend. So after understanding this idea, we can look how can we spot an uptrend. So I think we'll have to use the charts so that we can get through together. Okay, this is GBBJPY, and as you can see that the market has been trending to the upside. As you can see, the market has been trending to the upside. So what I used to mean is that the market will create a high there, then it will create a lower high, then it will create a high, then it will create a low, then it will create a high, then it will create a low, and also it will create a high. That's what I mean by saying that the market cannot just move as we think, or as you see on the illustration. As you can see here, this one here, the point I'm marking here is a high high. The point I'm marking here is a lower high. The point I'm marking over this point here, this is another high, and this one is a low, and this one is a high, as you can see. So if we tend to connect this point, you can see that here that's a high, that's a low. Okay, then comes by forming a low a lower high over that point. Then if you connect this dot over here, the market has formed a lower low. Then the market come and form a lower high. Then the market form a lower low until the market came and form this point over there. So what I always tell my friends, or what I always used to say, the market cannot move cannot just move in a way which is just the same as the illustrations looks like. The market move in form of waves, and how it behaves is how we can know how to trade that market. Do you get me? So as you can see here, the market didn't come to the downside here, but it managed to form another low over here, and then it made another high. So in general view, we can say that this is an example of an uptrend. And also the market here has managed to create a high, then has formed a low, then it's about to create another new high. So by understanding the concepts of how the market behaves and how the markets looks like, you can know where is the right point to make some decision of either buying or selling. So by understanding this little concept, I know you have understood how the higher highs are formed and how the higher lows are formed. So this is an example of an uptrend. Okay. I know it will take time for you to understand this, but believe me, this is how people are knowing the trend. As you can see here, this is high, this is low, this is high, this is low, this is high, this is low, this is high, this is low. Okay. So this is an example of an uptrend. So I think I'll upload another video showing you how the downtrend looks like, and I think by this video you can get some picture, or you can get some concept of how how the market looks like in an uptrend. So I know you have already get the concept. Yeah. And sometimes we need to see the bigger picture. Like example here, you can say this is a low, this low, this low over here came and made a high at this point here, and has made a low at that point there, and has come to make a high at that point over there, and has come to make a low at that point over there, and has make a high at that point over there, and has make a low at that point over there, and has gone to make a high. So on the bigger time frame, if you connect this point to this high point here, it is just a like a candle, or it will be a wave which is similar to what it looks from this view. So this is how we see an uptrend. Also, sometimes we can have the minor trends within a trend. Within an uptrend, we can have a minor trend. Like example, like this one, this trend which was formed around that point there. It shows us that it is just the same as a small trend, which you can see here. Market has formed a high, has formed a low high, has formed a high, has formed a lower high, has formed a high, has formed a lower high, has formed a high, and the market came and broke to the downside to form another low here. So these criteria are another things which I think we might discuss in another session. What does it mean if the market breaks through this point? What does it mean, or what will it give us? So within this type of behavior, we can get some entries which are nice, and we can get some pips. And I think you have understand. So maybe I should maybe I'll give you just a minute for you to identify a trend which was formed toward this level to E, to this point E. So the market formed a high, formed a low, came and formed a high over here, and it formed a low. Then the market didn't manage to make a high. So this is another criteria. So the market has made another change of trend. So it kind of formed a downtrend over here, over this point here. But for you to not be confused, I think you should try to be very genius. So you just see this is the highest point over here, and the lowest point, which will it be? This one is the lowest point. So the another highest point is this one. So sometimes the waves which are forming an uptrend cannot be cannot be as you expect, like this, like this one. Wap, 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 wap. Sometimes you can find that the market will be making some up higher high, some higher low, then the market will make a higher high, then the market will make a higher a lower low, then the market will come and make a high. So sometimes you may connect this point, you may connect this. Let me use a line here. You may connect this point from here and connect this point from here, so that you can get a single line which is just like this, a trend. Then you can see that this was the high, this was yeah, like like what happened over here. We couldn't use this one as a low, but this one is the low, because this one is the highest point and this one is the lowest point. And as you can see here, from this place till here, the market was trending to the upside. So this point here to this point here, it is just a lower low to a lower high. Then the market from this point here toward that this point over here is just a low. So sometimes we might ignore some levels which are not very clear, so that we can get we can get levels which are very clear, like from this point which we took it as a reference. We can see that the market has formed this was the first high, then the first low, the another high which was on this point, and another low which was on this point. So the market made another high which was on this way. So you can see these complex structures, but you have to look at the levels which are very significant, so that you can even know how the trend looks like. Because if you will term this a low, no, this is not a low. A low is this one. This is just a structure which is inside. It's inside the trend. So sometimes it may confuse you and make you cry for. I think you understand. It will confuse you and make you like being confused even more, without just not connecting the dots. So you should always look for the lowest swing and look to the highest swing, and the lowest swing and look to the another higher significant swing. Some people will say this one is a high. No, this one is not a high. So let me delete some structures. Some people might say that this is a high. In reality, it is it is a highest point. In reality, this one, yeah, it's a high. Yeah, it's a high point. But what we need to know is that we need to know the price point, which is the price went more high. So this one was the highest point which the price made, and the lowest point which the price made was this one. So if you connect starting from the where the trend started here, from this low here, we can see that we did made a high. This one was the highest point here. This one was the highest point. But this point here was not the highest point. This was just within a trend. So it's just a structure. The highest point which was created by the market was that one. And the lowest point which was created by the market was this one. So if we just ignore this place here. Let me delete this structure here. Let me delete this structure over here. So if we just connect these dots here, we can see that. Let me use this thing here. If we just connect these dots here, we can see that we have a clear visible structure. We have a very clear visible structure of a trend. You see? You see? You see? So I hope you'll learn more when you get used to the charts, and always understand that the characters of an uptrend should always have. Let me let me write for you the key points to consider. Key points to consider. You can take it as a note. Let me put somewhere around here. Um, Let me put around this point here. Sorry, my network is not very good. My network is not very good. So you have to forgive me. My network is not very good, but we can say that uptrend consists of, let's go down, the higher highs and the lower highs. So that's what the uptrend really consists. We should only understand those concepts. That in any uptrend, it consists of the higher highs and the lower highs. If the trend does not consist of those things, it is never an uptrend. So I see you in another video. Thank you. I know you want to know more. I think tomorrow I'll upload a video about the the the, the, the downtrend. Thank you.